Hello, my name is Vojta and I would like to show you how I made this. It's a little June beetle, which I preserved and mounted in a self-made wooden frame. Let's see it.
This bug has been dead for 2 weeks now, so it's nice and dry, but it can't be worked with just yet, so that's why I need to rehydrate it first. If I didn't do it, it will break. That's why I'm putting it in a jar with a piece of wet cloth, and I'm adding some rubbing alcohol to prevent molding. And I'm gonna leave it in the jar for 2 to 3 days. I'm gonna check it daily to see how pliable it is. Here you can see me picking up lumber for the frame. I picked up an old piece of spruce, I think, cleaning it with wire brush to prevent damaging the saws. Here I'm cutting it to rough length using my handsaw and rip cutting it on my bandsaw. I'm marking the positions of the nails. I want to pre-drill the holes first so the wood won't split on me. Once all the holes are drilled, I can add the nails. I'm nailing them in only halfway, just so they're there. Then I'm adding some wood glue, and now I can just nail it all together. I'm not clamping it together because I think the nails will do the trick. Here I'm marking the length of the frame pieces, so this one piece will get split into 4 little pieces, and that's how the frame will go together. I'm just marking the angles so I can roughly cut it on my bandsaw. So first I clean up the pieces on my disc sander, and then I can set my fence to exactly 45 degrees, and once the fence is set, I can sand my pieces to the exact length with the 45 degree angle on them. Here I am scraping the surface with a wire brush to strip off the softer spring wood and reveal the harder summer wood, and it's gonna make the frame look a little bit aged, and that's the look I was going for. Here I am gluing the pieces together. I'm using a stapler to just temporarily hold them in place. I'm using sawdust to fill in the gaps and fix the imperfections, and I'm using electrical tape to clamp it. Here I am checking for squareness. If the diagonals are equal, then you know that the whole piece is square. I'm adding some more sawdust to fix more imperfections, and here it is. It's starting to look like a frame now. I'm cleaning up the corners. I'm just gonna sand off the tips, and then I'm using wire brush again to make it look uniform. I'm cleaning the glue from the corners, just using my knife, and I'm dyeing it using a regular wood stain. Once the stain is dry, I can sand it and sort of reveal the grain and make it look aged. 2 coats of water-based polyurethane and the frame is basically done. Then I can take apart an old picture frame. I'm just using the glass. Here I'm cutting the glass. I'm not very good at cutting glass. The first cut worked out pretty well. I'm scoring it from both sides, and it just sort of popped apart. It worked out pretty well. The other cap didn't work out quite as well, but I did manage to get it done and fit the glass in. And here you can see me using frame makers triangles. They're sort of like little triangle shaped nails that hold the glass in place. It's time to mount the beetle now, so I'm using a sanding pad and some masking tape to make an improvised like a mounting cushion. I don't know the word for it. So I'm just taking tape, covering the sanding pad with it, and then I can take the beetle out of the jar. It's nice and pliable now. I can move its legs and without damaging it. So here you can see me working with the beetle. I'm spreading the legs first. I'm using rubber gloves because I'm afraid to touch the beetle, and it helps me to get over my fear. I'm taking the wings out now. It's a fiddly job, you have to be careful, but it worked out pretty well, considering it was my first time. Once the wings are out, I started pinning it to the cushion. So the first pin goes in between the wings, and it's the only pin that actually penetrates the beetle. The other pins are there just to hold the legs and the wings and everything just in the place you want it to be. I was trying to make it as symmetrical as possible. And once I was happy with the result, I just let it dry for about a week to fix it permanently in the position. So after 1 week of drying, I can take all the pins out except for the middle one. And you can see that now that the bug is nice and dry, it stays in the position I fixed it in. The next job is to make the back panel for the frame. I'm just using some thick cardboard, cutting the square out of it, and then I glued a piece of fabric on it. But unfortunately I lost the footage, so it's not in the video. Here I am making the label for that goes under the bug. It's just a regular piece of paper. I used pencil to mark the lines, then I just scribbled the name in Czech and in Latin on it, and then I used some beeswax to just help and protect it. Then I glued it on the back panel, and then I marked the position for the pin. Since the back panel is really thin, I'm gluing the pin in with some epoxy and then cutting the excess off with my Dremel tool. And then I'm covering the edges with masking tape just to make it look nice and to prevent the fabric from dismantling. Then I'm cleaning the inside of the glass with some rubbing alcohol. Now I'm securing the back panel with some tags, just so I can remove it anytime I need it. And the last thing to do is to make a hanger so it can be hung on the wall. I'm using a regular nail. I'm sharpening it on both sides, and then I can shape it. I bent it into sort of like a U shape, just using my vise and some pliers. Once it's bent, I can mark the holes. I can pre-drill it so I won't split the wood, and then I can nail it in. It was at this point when I realized the back panel was in the way, so I had to cut a little piece of it to make way for the hanger.
And that's it. I hope you liked the video. If you have any questions or suggestions, please let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and thank you for watching.